coach, Gregg Polinsky.
Rick Barnes mentioned that you guys sometimes watch like different types of clips, like a running back yards after catch being like a offensive rebound. What started that idea of like showing different sports clips to get the guys right mentally?
Just, I think things can get, at times, right? It's a long season, a little bit monotonous, mundane, so what can we do to add a little flavor and give a perspective? And I know our guys, a lot of them will watch NFL or college football for sure. Love the Vols, of course. So everybody, Rod will do it, Gainey, Lentz. It was just something I was sitting there, and Luke Shep, I was like, you know what, we got to be better at like getting off the first hit, the first block out. And so Shep goes, I got a great clip. So Luke Shepker actually came up with the running back. I think he ran through 5 tackles. So it was a way for our guys to relate in a different way, and something that they found kind of, I think, amusing, but could also maybe translate it to basketball.
Do you think Egor took it to heart after his 18 rebounds?
I'll leave that up to you.
Usually when somebody grabs 18 rebounds, it's a center who's 7 foot, whatever. How impressive was Egor's performance? I know he's in the post quite often, but for a smaller guy in that regard.
Yeah, I think when you see guys rebound out of their area, meaning starting in one place, running to another place, or being at the rim, the ball bounces 7 feet this way, he runs it down. That, I think, what was impressive to me with Egor in that game. We get it from Cade. We'll get some from Felix for sure. We want to get D Stone. He's capable, more involved. But that was, I think, the most impressive thing. Not just, grabbing balls in his area. There's some good in-area rebounders, but out-of-area rebounders are hard to find.
Rick talked a lot about his defensive rebounding not being surprising. I saw that at Charlotte. What's been surprising, or why has he been able to be a better offensive rebounder than you all anticipated?
He and I talked, and Charlotte was very successful when he was there. Virginia, I think the coach came from there, and everybody has a style, and Virginia was highly successful right under Tony Bennett. But Egor told me, the way they did it was, unless if they were even or they were inside the guy, they could go to the board. If not, they were to go back, because their whole thing is prevent easy transition baskets, get our half-court defense set. So they valued that probably a little bit more than offensive rebounding. Here, we'd like to think we can do both of them. And I think giving Egor that freedom, because he had told me in the summer, man, I can offensive rebound. And I said, well, let's go. You're going to get that opportunity. So I think that's been kind of fun for him, and it's obviously been good for our basketball team.
What's been the key to Florida's hot start this season?
Wow, they're really good. I know we're supposed to say all that, but they really, really are good. No holes. To answer your question directly, I think experience at the guard position. I don't know that we'll see a better trio. And then when you add their bench, Aberdeen coming in off the bench, and who's playing, And the other thing is, I think like our guys, which we're proud of here, all their kids have gotten better, or young men, I should say. They look like men. So the fact that Elijah Martin is a grad, and then they have 2 other seniors, Clayton and Richard, at guard. So they've seen it all. They're experienced. They're physically strong. They're mentally tough. They're athletic. They're willful in their scoring opportunities. Their bigs understand exactly their role. I think so look at it this way. They're 3rd or 4th in the country in offensive rebounding. Rank highly in second chance points. They are 2nd or 3rd in the country in transition points. That's a scary combination. That is why they're so good, right? They do run good half-court stuff, but man, you put those 2 things together, hard to beat that team.
Coach, your last true road test, you played a really good Illinois team and won kind of a slugfest. Florida just played a track meet at Rupp Arena. Do you like this team's ability to do both if you find yourself in either style of game?
Well, we're going to find out, because that's a good point. I mean, this team, stylistically, Florida has shown that they can win. I mean, that was a high-level game if you watched it. That was entertaining as heck. Both teams were just so good on offense in that game. Florida is also ranks analytically pretty well defensively. So I think Kentucky's offense might have just been a little better than Florida's defense on that night, or that day, I should say. But Florida, we expect them to be very good defensively. We are going to have to score some points to win in Florida.
where can your team take the next step when it does come to rebounding?
Being consistent. We'll get the chance to see that in this game because this will be, everybody talks about our physicality. I think Florida is probably the most physical team I've seen all year at all 5 positions, and they get just as physical when they come in off the bench. So playing in that environment there, the love Florida has anyway for Tennessee. And yeah, we know it's sold out, and we know this is a huge game for them as it is for us, that we expect this to be like a 15-round boxing match.
How have you seen Walter Clayton improve from last year to this year?
Just confidence, just a pace and a poise. I call it like he plays with a great gait. He never looks hurried. He never gets sped up. He's shooting the ball like at a very high clip from 3. He needs little time, a little bit like Chaz. Like that release is really quick. Big bodied, strong enough to get downhill, really smart at drawing fouls. Just very complete as an offensive player.
Where's Chaz's shooting ability compared to other guys you've been around?
Well, thus far it's been at a very high level, on any level. I think the things that, if I could, go back to my previous stop of 23 years, I would say we used to talk about don't grade guys on a college 20. How many of them in that 20 were NBA good? Would they work at any place in the world? And I think Chaz has the ability for his jump shot to work anywhere in the world. I think Clayton, his jump shot works anywhere in the world. That's not to knock out any of our other guys. When you watch Dalton play, you could tell some of the shots would work at the next level. I think what Chaz does at times, and coaches trying to get him even to play faster, get more separation, because that's what's important, right? You can talk about a low release, but when you get rid of it that quick, it doesn't matter. And I think that's what's impressive, his ability to get rid of the ball quickly, with range, and in traffic.
Anything else? Go to our guest reporters.
Take your time. You're okay.
What do you do when a ref calls a call that you don't agree with?
That's a good question.
Out loud or what I'm thinking?
I
Well, as an assistant coach, our job is to not become emotional with that stuff, although it's impossible at times, but we try to really manage our emotions. I think Coach Barnes is a great example for us because he makes sure as he can, right? It's a subjective thing because emotion sometimes can override logic, right? But especially not with females. I don't mean that in gender. I say that to my wife. But no, I don't mean that. That's a bad comment. I mean, my Waffle House is better. Cut that. We'll not show that. But I think for us, like as assistants, we are to be helpful to coach. What did we see? Did we think it was a foul? If we're positive about it, we saw the guy's foot on the line or something that is beneficial, then we'll say something. If not, we try to, I say try, to stay under control because we ask our players to do the same thing, okay? So I think Coach is a really good example of a guy. He's also the president of the rules committee that knows the rules, and so you feel pretty comfortable and confident when he goes up to talk to the official, and he always does it in a respectful manner. He doesn't curse, he treats them with respect, so they treat him with respect.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
My pleasure.
Thank you.